after that.
Just a moment. It's coming.
Jetzt geht's los.
Geht's los. Ja, geht's los. Ja. So now I'll share you the link to the YouTube live.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you. Okay, I'll send our colleagues and to RPSA as well. Okay. And I and RICOH will disappear now from now.
Oh, some Japanese audience is already there.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
I know almost all of them. Good morning. Ohayou gozaimasu. So how long have you already lived in US, John?
I moved here in 95.
95. Oh, okay. 25 years ago.
I know.
Oh, that's already a long time.
Yeah. But it is nice to go back and visit Germany. I enjoy it.
Okay. Do you love German food?
I love German food.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
But there's only so many Schweinehaxe you can eat in 1 week.
Yeah. In North Germany, people tend to eat ice pine.
Ice pine, yeah.
Boiled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Schweinehaxe. Oh, that's violent. It's South Germany.
Yeah. Yeah, I spent a lot of time, and even though I was in Düsseldorf, we had a factory in southern Germany in a town called Immenstadt.
Okay.
Just south of Stuttgart.
Okay. South of Stuttgart. Stuttgart is the Schwaben.
Yeah, Schwab, and so it's like it was very close to a tourist resort called Sonthofen.
Okay.
Kempten, Allgäu. It was in the Allgäu region.
Allgäu. Yeah. Do you know Martin Schopler of Fuji Dymatics?
Yeah, I know. I don't know him. I know of him. We've exchanged. I don't know him that well, but where is he from in Germany?
Allgäu.
You know, is he from Allgäu?
Yes, South
wow.
Germany. Very beautiful town area. Yeah, Allgäu is the town, but the area. Okay. Now it's 6 o'clock. Now we should start, right?
Okay.
So good morning, everybody. In Japanese, おはようございます。皆様、本日はご参加いただきましてありがとうございます。非常に朝の6時ですけども、ご参加いただきましてありがとうございます。Good morning, everybody. Yeah, thank you for joining JIVM 2020's webinars. Yeah, today, in this slot, we are going to ask the RICOH people, RICOH US people, to talk about inkjet head, the latest technology. It's a thin film printhead, and also they cover Gen 6 topics. So may I ask John Harman? I see now 3 persons on the screen: John Harman and legendary Joe Ryan, and Nishimura-san, also another legendary RICOH person. Okay, so now may I ask John to start?
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning. Ohayou gozaimasu. Thank you very much for this opportunity, Ono-san, to present to for RPSA to present today. It's a great opportunity, and we hope that the participants on the webinar today and on YouTube will find something, they will learn something that they don't already know about our capabilities at RICOH, and specifically from RICOH Printing Systems America, where Joe, Hiroshi, and myself are located in Simi Valley. So a warm welcome to everybody. Let me just hide this. So our theme, as you mentioned, Ono-san, is to speak about the collaborative inkjet innovation and how RICOH is advancing new digital applications and markets, including RICOH's new thin film product. So this is the first product that we were introducing. It was just launched in July. We'll tell you some more information about that. And then also we're going to talk to you about our metal printheads, those that are manufactured in RICOH Japan, as well as the printheads that are designed manufactured in Simi Valley. And we'll also touch our latex inks. And our webinar will kind of cover a few main themes today, and they are leadership and innovation, building on the success of the MH5420, which has been very successfully globally. A lot of people know that printhead as the Gen 5 printhead, and that has been very successful in signage in diverse applications globally. And as we mentioned earlier, we'll talk about the thin film product. And then, many people know that corporate social responsibility is very important to RICOH, and that ties into our latex ink strategy, and we'll talk to you briefly about that today. And then we'll talk to you about the printheads and the technology that we're developing here in Simi Valley, and Hiroshi will talk specifically and give you a preview into some of the new technologies that we plan to develop and launch.
Very good.
And just the last 2 points is, RICOH is very big on cooperative partnerships. So we establish partnerships with OEMs globally. And another aspect of our partnership was with in the digital microfactory, which we'll talk about also. And then obviously support is very important. And finally, we like engaging with new customers. So, if you hear something interesting here today on this webinar, please reach out to us. We would like to engage with you.
Okay, thank you. Very good.
So I suppose just getting started from a corporate standpoint, our Jake San, our CEO and president, recently announced that RICOH is transitioning from an office automation equipment manufacturer to a digital service company. Okay. So that says a lot about the direction of our business. And the industrial print business group that we belong to is a key driver of that digital expansion effort within the RICOH organization. And just touching on that, so our mission really is to innovate and be the go-to company for digital transformation and expand inkjet technology capabilities and fundamentally match the innovation. So what's critical is that we have the innovation ready when the market is ready, right? So we match the innovation at the right time for the market requirements. So that's how we work and cooperate with our existing and new customers. And I think most people online will be very familiar about the analog to digital transformation. We've seen that occurring over the last 10, say 20 years. And fundamentally, it is market focused and disruptive. It's bringing a lot of change to digital technology. As we're seeing today with the COVID-19, that's bringing a disruptive change to how we do business. Many of us have been working from home over the last 2 to 3 months. I know most of us here in Simi Valley have. So that so just like digital technology is also bringing around disruptive change. And we're seeing digital becoming, traditionally it was more a print. Now we're seeing part of the process and part of the function. So we're seeing that transformation. And then obviously the advantages, and without going into them in any great detail, but it's all about efficiency. How do you reduce cost, inventory, setup time, product diversification, and inkjet allows you to apply specifically, say, a fluid in a specific area where it's actually required. So you can get economies of scale and a lot of other efficiencies and benefits from digital. And we'll talk more about those later. So Joe, over to you.
Well, some of the innovation drivers consist, once again, around the digital technology.
Joe,
So
just hold on.
yeah,
Joe,
Yes.
your
your
voice
speaker.
was, now
Is
it's,
it too low?
oh, it's
Oh no,
okay.
that's fine.
No,
Okay.
it's fine. No, it's fine.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
No
sorry. So the innovation driver, really, the printhead kind of sits in the middle of where the end product comes out, and it's at the bottom of the value chain, if you will. Above it are the fluids, the systems, the whole mechanism. So having the ability to deal with a number of expanding fluids is very critical, and that's something, because of the all metal construction of the printheads, we're able to deal with a lot of different fluids. And by changing the printhead technology, we all stainless steel. We use laminated bonding to hold those laminations together. And then, of course, we're now moving into a whole new technology segment with thin film. And we'll be spending a little bit of time talking a little bit about the metal heads that have the stainless steel laminations and the thin film printheads, which bring new technology capability. And all of this basically is, one, to make it easier to put a system together, and be very competitive in cost, both in the manufacturing cost, the material cost, and time to market. All of those things cost money, and the quicker that those things can happen because of the printhead capability, then the better that the entire digital movement starts going forward. And as people start seeing some of the applications that people are using, they're starting to expand and step forward and take it to the next level to find even more diverse applications. As John mentioned before, it's kind of like a digital inkjet was kind of a print function. Now it's not only print, it's actually manufacturing the products themselves, in addition to printing on paper and decorating objects at the same time. So, John, we'll go to the next slide.
Next slide.
It should be. It's coming through.
And so this is kind of a history of the inkjet, the componentry that we've developed. And RICOH has been doing inkjet technology for more than 40 years. And
40.
so we've built 40 years, yes, 40
Okay.
years.
It's long years.
And longer than, longer than a lot of us have been alive. So there's a tremendous history, a lot of experience, and we don't show all of the printheads here on the timeline chart, because it actually goes further back in time. But the interesting thing about this graphic is the fact that as we display the progression of the inkjet printheads, it also shows that it's a stepping stone. As you go forward, you're stepping up to a next higher level, to the next higher level. So it actually, this is the foundation that the latest products are built on, and it's a function of the experience that we've had both in developing the products and our customers' experience with using the products. And if you look at the kind of like, how do you characterize the performance of the printheads, it really goes to the number of nozzles, the frequency, and the drop volume. That's the true measure of a performance. And if you look to the right of the screen, where the blue is the dark blue, we've got a number of printheads, the MH2620 series, which is industrial, and we'll spend a little bit more time talking about that in detail, because it's the heavy duty and high temperature, high viscosity printhead for a lot of very demanding applications.
Like a 3D printing or that kind of application, right?
That is correct. And just above that on the chart, you see the MH5420. And as Ono-san mentioned earlier, people kind of know that as the Gen 5 printhead, which is almost like an industry standard now. And so even though we have a very, very good product, you're always looking to make it a little bit better. And so to the right of the 5420, there are two versions, or two spin-offs, two further developments. The MH5220 is a small drop version for very high reproduction capability, high 1200 dpi kind of resolution. So that gives you the very small drop size. It has all the other features and functions of the classic Gen 5. And then the ultimate, at least for right now, is the 5421, which is they're moving into the 7 picoliter, 1200 nozzles, and then further moving forward is going into this is once again part of the Gen 5 series, and then we're moving into the Gen 6 version of that. So
Yeah,
John, if you go to the next page. And as once again, we're always getting feedback from our customers and the applications and making adjustments wherever possible. So this is kind of of course, have product names and product. But generally, the market talks about this as the Gen 6 printhead. This is the new printhead, was announced last year, and it's a yes.
Yeah, hold on.
Sure.
Very noisy. Very noisy.
Yeah,
Maybe
there's a lot of
maybe the contact of your plug.
Let me see if that changed anything.
Okay, yeah.
That's better, yeah.
Now
Okay.
it's good. Yeah.
All right. So the Gen 6 printhead brings even more functions capability over the Gen 5. Higher speed, which allows you to once again print faster, has a smaller drop size, so you have much higher print quality, actively supports the 1200 DPI, and because of the improvements that we've made internally is that the manufacturing variations are much smaller, so every printhead is much tighter tolerance in terms of its operational capability. Also, as we've expanded the portfolio of inks that we can support, namely aqueous ink, which can be a challenge to a lot of different printheads, but by changing the bonding structure of the printhead, we're able to increase our compatibility with aqueous inks, and by adding protective layers onto the orifice plate, it becomes even much more robust when you're dealing with attachments, paper dust, possible strikes, and things like that. So overall, the printhead takes the same functionality of the Gen 5 and expands it by going faster, smaller drop sizes, greater compatibility, and much more robust for general operation.
Yeah, very good.
So now
that's kind of the ultimate of the current metalhead bulk piezo printheads, and now we'll move into the thin film.
Thin film. Oh, that's it.
Yeah, so we're now going to transfer into thin film technology, and the TH5241, which we're going to describe in somewhat detail here, is the first of a range of thin film products that we plan to launch. So as this indicates, it's a 1.06 inch compact printhead, which offers high productivity, high flexibility in terms of resolution and ink type. So you'll see here on the next slide, we look specifically at the versatile printing options. And so fundamentally, if you're an OEM, you could use this printhead for one application where 4 colors at 300 DPI is required, or 2 colors at 600 DPI, or you could print 1 color at 600 DPI, which gives you redundancy and double the speed.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's, so we just launched this printhead in July, and we're very pleased to, we're starting to talk to customers or OEMs in the label textile market. And we're starting to sample them with this printhead now. So we're very excited about the possibilities that this printhead has to offer, because it allows you to have one printhead for potentially multiple different applications. And similarly to the Gen 5 and Gen 6, this is UV and solvent and aqueous compatible. And if I just move to the next one, here's again a summary, and it's double the productivity of the GH2220, which I think you were familiar with, Ono-san. That was in the gel jet, low cost printer, And then in terms of application, we see it as being ideal. So it's kind of a low cost printed, right? So it's for sign graphics, textile, and label. So it's a very versatile printhead for those applications.
Yeah, Joe, may I have one question at this point of time?
Yes.
So I think, Gen 5 was very popular, and you improved Gen 6. It's a good idea. And you have now thin film. And both you emphasize that you can apply UV ink and aqueous ink, and the application area is sign and graphics and textile and label. What is the fundamental difference between thin film and Gen 6? So we can apply both, but what do
Yeah,
I?
it's a very good. I think it's a very good question. I think the main differences in the you know the metalhead technology is obviously stainless steel and metal, and we're still doing some life study tests on the thin film technology.
Okay.
But I would say that for and obviously also in terms of viscosity, the viscosity ranges will be more limited for a thin film than it would be for a metalhead. So I think the metalhead allows you to use it in a wider range of viscosity. So it gives you more broader range of viscosity. And then it probably has an advantage in terms of industrial life use in a production type environment.
Okay. So more heavy duty for Gen 6 and
more heavy duty, but then again, that depends on many of our OEMs like to push the envelope in terms of our even our metal heads, and they really push it in terms of the temperature, the viscosity, the firing range. So it all comes down to the application and the types of fluids and materials that they're putting through that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
So over to you, Hiroshi.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So I'm going to talk about primarily the US group. This is one of the division of RICOH group company. And as Joe said, located near Los Angeles, about 1 hour drive from Los Angeles International Airport. And so we have long inkjet history, 40 years, longer than 40 years of piezo-DLD inkjet. And when it comes to printhead component business, we've been doing this over 30 years. So what we do here is sales and support for all the co-printheads for Americas, North America, Canada, South America, Central. And also we do have development functionality and manufacturing facility. And our products from California is rather complementary to graphic printheads that were presented earlier today. That means, larger native drop size, higher viscosity, higher temperature, the flow-through functionality. And typical applications are 3D printing.
Yeah, I know very well, yes.
Thank you. We have viscous fluids, coding, marking, and coating, and others.
Okay.
Yeah. Could you go to next slide, please?
Nishimura-san, it's old history. As far as I remember, that today's Stratasys, at that time object from the company, that they used your head, printhead.
Yes, correct. So a small startup in Israel. Time, 8 employees back then.
I know Hanan very well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Yeah.
So this is the latest printheads, MH810F. This is so-called Gen 4L flow-through recirculation.
Oh, that's a flow.
Well, as you can see, drop size is larger than like Gen 5, Gen 6 thin film. But ink flexibility is wider. Temperature can go up to 80 degrees C. And viscosity could go up to 14 centipoise.
Mm-hmm.
But here, the characteristics of this US team is that we maintain pretty healthy R&D spirits.
Mm.
So we are willing to work on very innovative ink and process development with partners. So I'll give you a sneak peek about R&D activities, what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So we are working on the Gem 4L series, drop size like 50 picoliter, or 2 times 25 picoliter. That's 2 nozzles per piezo. Temperature-wise, we are working on even higher temperature and viscosity as well. So we are very much looking forward to engage with new and innovative inkjet development.
Nishimura-san,
Yes.
again, may I ask one question at this point of time? That either 50 picoliter or 2 times 25 picoliter. So you mean in one ink channel, one
Yes.
nozzle hole, or you can have 2 nozzle hole for one ink channel. Is this correct? Is my understanding correct?
Yes.
Okay. But
So
for
virtually DPI will double. Addressability stays the same.
Okay. Oh, interesting idea. And up to 120 degrees C. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And so, you know, our origin is wax ink.
Yes. Yes.
So we have all those technologies.
Phase change waxing.
Yes.
Yeah, very good. Thank you.
So this up to this point is Printhead, but when it comes to integrating Printhead, it's not an easy task.
Yeah.
So what we provide is services, integration services that include not only printhead selection, but also ink testing. Sometimes we can offer RICOH inks or tested ink by RICOH, waveform design, printer design consultation, module design consultation, or sometimes provide module solution for production environment.
That save a lot of time for the customer to develop their own system.
Yeah. Some customer probably have good idea, but be new to inkjet. So some partnership.
Yeah.
We can bridge those needs.
Very good.
RICOH has imaging group, color gate. So we connect our customer with color gate.
Yeah, color management.
Yeah, correct. And it makes big difference actually. And so we are in America, but there are other inkjet groups within RICOH, in Japan, of course, as well as UK. So we can connect these groups. We have resources behind us. Also, we can connect third-party technology and commercial partners.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hiroshi. So just transitioning, we're going to go into fluids now. So we're going to talk about our latex inks, and RICOH has been developing latex inks for some time. In fact, I think the first latex ink was in that GelJet printer, which had a GH5241 printhead, which was very successful in that desktop application. And as mentioned earlier, corporate social responsibility is very important to RICOH. And what we're doing at the moment is that we're exploring opportunities with some of our OEMs in both the signage and the corrugated market. And some of the benefits, and we just touch on these very briefly, is that we offer excellent color gamut, which is achieved with CMYK. So typically, to optimize your color gamut, you need dilute colors like light cyan, light magenta.
Light magenta.
So yeah, so we're able to achieve that very good, almost comparable color gamut to the leading latex ink competitors in the marketplace.
Okay.
Another key attribute of our latex inks is that the curing temperature is at 80 degrees. So for competitive latex inks, the curing temperature is significantly higher, which requires more energy. So fundamentally, if you have less color to put down, achieve the same level of gamut, and you have a lower temperature to cure the ink, then ultimately you're saving a lot in terms of energy. So it ties into the whole social corporate responsibility standpoint. So at the moment, we have 2 ink sets. We have the signage for the signage market, which offers high durability without overcoat, because obviously in the signage market, durability is very important.
Mm-hmm.
And also another important characteristic is no primer is required.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then we're also looking at the corrugated market. We see that as a great opportunity in terms of like one of the next thresholds for expansion into the digital realm, let's say. And that's design. We're looking to design one. It's still in development, so it's not a final product yet, but it's in development design for single pass. And the raw materials or the ingredients that we're using for this latex ink are food safe, compliant, and as such are Swiss ordinance compliant.
Okay. Mm.
Yeah, so that's in development. So, you know, if anybody on the webinar today is interested in talking to us about our latex inks, we'd be glad to initiate that conversation with you. So just transitioning a little bit, and this is kind of leading into what we call our digital microfactory. And in fact, one of our colleagues, Janos-san, will be having a call later today, a Zoom webinar call. And I'll show you one of the second slide after this slide, the details, and I'll leave it up for a couple of minutes if you want to take a shot of it, a screenshot of it. But this kind of ties into, and I think through each of the slides that we've presented, we've tried to highlight the fact that we'd like to cooperate, and we can cooperate on different levels. And this gives an example of cooperation that RICOH is also engaged in, and it ties into the textile industry. So, you know, in the textile industry, there's a lot of water used, a lot of inventory held. You know, you're trying to meet new fashion trends, so you're trying to constantly manage how you manage your inventory and sell enough product, not have to discount the product. And many of the key leading textile manufacturers are addressing that today. We believe that this digital transformation will take them a step closer to maximizing the footprint, or minimizing the footprint and maximizing the profitability of that business. So some key concepts that people would be familiar with is reshoring and nearshoring. So you bring the manufacturing closer to where the demand is, so that reduces your transport costs and your inventory holding, and puts you closer to the customer, so you can respond to local demand in say textile colors or fabrics or patterns or whatever it is. So you can be more responsive to your local market. And then you have obviously e-commerce, so you have online customization. So I think with COVID-19, you know, there's a lot more online purchases happening now than say prior to COVID-19. So we see that this digital microfactory is really going to play a big part in that. And then eco-friendly and traceable production. When you have a smaller or supply chain, it's much easier to track, you know, the steps in the process as to where that product came from, and have, you know, people, I think a lot of consumers are looking for, you know, to be able to track and understand that it came from, you know, a legitimate or, you know, eco-friendly or work environment, and so on and so forth. And then you have integrated value chain and made to order flexible production.
Yeah.
So this is just kind of a summary, and really this is a kind of just a taste, and there'll be a much more detailed webinar later, Ono-san, actually, which you're also hosting later today. But it just, so it basically it ties into RICOH is putting a number of partners together in terms of creating a digital microfactory. When the digital microfactory, you have the components that make up textiles. So you have the design, which could be online, toning, some matching colors. Where we mentioned earlier we acquired ColorGate, so they're playing a key part in that. The printing from RICOH, again, its inspection would be a key part of that, where you're ensuring that the product that you produce is and the colors that you produce are consistent with the prior product that you sold, the identical product. And you have cutting. We have a partner on cutting and sewing, and essentially then this is the interface with the brand owner, the department store, the stores or online shop, and the consumer. So it's taking this whole environment and putting that together, creating a digital microfactory. And the idea here is that you would have these digital microfactories strategically located globally. So this is another aspect of innovation from RICOH, and also from cooperation. And I just leave this up for a second or two. If anybody would like more detailed information about this webinar, they can take a copy of this and join this webinar.
Yeah.
Later this evening. So I'll just leave that up for 1 or 2 seconds.
Okay, good.
So I believe, I think the objective of the webinar today was really to give you an overview of what we do globally within RICOH, and what we specifically do within RPSA, and how we support that RICOH's digital strategy. And we'd like to engage with you and those that are on the webinar today. And let me just show you this. So here's our contact information.
Yeah. John, Hiroshi, and Joe. Okay. All in the same place?
All in the same place, Simi Valley, California.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
So I'll throw back to you, Ono-san.
Yeah. So thank you very much, gentlemen. John, Joe, and Hiroshi-san. Yeah. I have several questions, a couple of questions, or I would encourage the audience that you feel free to push the button Q&A in the bottom of the screen and raise any question in which area. It doesn't matter which area that the RICOH as a company, or RICOH as an inkjet head manufacturer, or maybe solution provider for the micro factory, whatever. So if you have any question, please feel free to ask these gentlemen. So this is not actually a question from my point of view about DMF, Digital Microfactory. When I first time hear this keyword from RICOH company, it was not new. Maybe 2 years ago, 2 to 3 years ago, they have been already speaking about the DMF. But at that time, no COVID. It was very, very good old days. And today, COVID is that is stopping every activity which we are familiar with. Now the world is changing. Do you think that, of course, I do not welcome COVID, but COVID is accelerating the trend which you have been targeting before the COVID. Is my understanding correct? Somebody, John?
Yeah, yes, it is correct. And I can draw on I have 2 young daughters.
Yeah.
And, that we're pretty much confined to home, and they're growing. They're 4 and 6 years old, so they need new clothing. So my wife went to a local store. I won't mention, it was a large store. And the selection of clothing there was was very much reduced to what she was accustomed to seeing at a store. So normally when she went to the store, there was a huge selection. And the selection was greatly reduced, and she was very disappointed. So I think what's happening in retail is that many of these stores are trying to how to manage that. Or is the store going to be closed? Should I keep the inventory in the store? Will the inventory stay too long in the store where it's past the season? So they're trying to manage all these costs associated with trying to predict something that's very unpredictable. So I think it is moving people and businesses towards, particularly for a seasonal product, in moving them to an online purchase or an online business strategy. So I think now the digital microfactory has even a stronger value proposition for that textile market.
Okay, interesting. Because as you know, I have been working for Konica Minolta or Konica before I become independent. And I was involved also the textile printer business, Messenger, for more than 15 years at that time. I started the career as an inkjet in 1999 until I graduated from Konica Minolta. It was 2016. So I involved in that textile printing business for 16 years. And I have been keep saying, okay, less inventory, on demand, blah, blah, blah. But the world did not move so quickly. But the concept is still the same. But I see a lot of, today people is more often talking about this opportunity. So I think, COVID might have given certain, positive impact to drive forward.
Yeah, and I think we'll see it not only in the textile business. I think that many other businesses that were, say, considering digital before, they say, well, we can still manage with our analog business. But now I think COVID is not only affecting the digital, not only affecting textile, it's affecting other businesses too.
Yeah, okay.
So I think that other businesses that were predominantly analog will also take a more serious look at digital, which is why we're having this webinar today to say, look, if you are considering more seriously, please reach out to us.
Okay, that is the reason why, because first time I heard it was DTMF, Digital Textile Microfactory, but RICOH people is now saying, skipping T, DMF, Digital Microfactory, not just limited to textile,
Correct.
but to apply for every application.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, very good. Oh, now some question is popping up from here. So one question from the audience: is it possible to get a copy of the presentation? Is that possible? Or maybe you can, I don't know who, I don't read the name, but dear audience, if you have a question, or if you like to have this copy, you can contact either John or Joe or Nishimura-san, and please ask. Or at least you can see, you can watch this webinar again in the YouTube. And if you overlooked, or okay, could you ask directly? Second question: when is the thin film printhead available for testing? Will you provide a complete testing kit including the required hardware? When is it available?
Yeah, the printhead is available now, and we're actually getting some samples from Japan specifically for us in RPSA. And then we're working with some of, Hiroshi mentioned some of our partners, and both internally and externally. And we should have a controller board and some other components to put together with the printhead, and we'll be advising that availability shortly. But the printhead is available today for evaluation.
Okay, maybe again, the audience, you can contact RICOH people directly for the more detailed discussion, right? Okay. And third question, that's coming from Boston, my friend. What does it mean when you noted no flow through or heater on the new thin film head? Okay.
So Hiroshi, do you want to field that question?
I see. So this thin film printhead doesn't have heater, but have thermistor.
Thermistor.
You can detect operating temperature. So you can do maybe two things. Depending on the temperature, you can design waveform accordingly and apply to it. Another method could be you can put the external heater and control printhead temperature using external heater. And then second question, no flow through. Flow through printhead, often called the recirculation printhead. And with those printheads, printhead doesn't have to have heater. Actually, ink temperature can be controlled by outside ink system. And ink temperature is controlled and recirculated. Printheads just follow that temperature. So unfortunately, with this printhead, there's no way to do that temperature control. So the choices would be limited to the two methods that I described.
So Nishimura-san, I think this is a very good question. I have a comment on this question. This is a very good question, because since ZAR, they announced circulation head, they advertised, okay, circulation is super to solve every problem. So the inkjet head with circulation capability is advanced. And head without circulation is it's old. So
I see.
technology. So I think this is okay. As a marketing purpose, it has been that worked very well for ZAR to open up the ceramic printing market. However, there are a lot of applications which does not need the ink circulation.
Right.
If you select the right ink and right system and ink circulation system, that makes the whole system a little bit more complicated.
Yeah.
To calculate the bed ink pressure or ink flow volume or whatever.
Exactly.
So that makes the whole system more expensive. And some people still trust that circulation system is advanced. Without circulation, it's an old head. So I think this is also my mission to collect this idea.
I see.
And also
our understanding is one printhead, one design wouldn't support all applications. So this printhead is designed for a little different application. Probably that doesn't require circulation. For your example, ceramics print, without circulation, it wouldn't work at all. It never work. But doesn't really mean printhead is advanced. It is advanced, but that's not the only solution.
Yes. And again, it is same the heater issue. So there are many ways to control a heater. In the end of the day, that will control the viscosity of the ink. It should not be always necessary to build in the head. You can control externally. So there are okay. Oh, I should not touch too much about the secret of my former company's head.
It's okay. Please tell us.
No. There are some different methods to control the temperature. So for example, this is not secret. You can check it in the specification. See it. The conical minolta that has a built-in heater and also thermistor, and they check the ink temperature on demand and feedback the voltage to drive the head. And Kyocera head, they have a heater inside, and they keep the ink temperature always at a stable temperature, so that to fix the viscosity.
Yeah.
So they don't feedback. And RICOH has a different method. So I think the method to stabilize the jetting is not just one. There are many ways to do that. So to make this thin film head, this is my understanding, to simple and low cost and for mass production, I think you can do externally, not always necessary to do it internally.
Right.
So, yeah, I think this is my understanding.
Yes.
Okay.
I think you are right on.
Dear my friend from Boston, do you understand what I told you? Okay, is there any other questions? Okay. Yeah, again, this is a little bit specific questions that you have Gen 5 and Gen 5's variations. So the original Gen 5 and you have 2 or 3 variations. And you, in the variation, you reduce the drop size. Okay, but you kept the 30 kilohertz is a driving frequency the same, both 30. Normally, this is my understanding, when the picolita size becomes lower, the driving frequency becomes higher. Why did you keep the same? Is that maybe some structure issues of RICOH head or what?
I see. Okay, so on the paper, yes, you're right. Yeah, I'm a technology person, so I know the inside. But we compare, so Gen 5 and Gen 6. Gen 5S, which is 2.5 picoliter head, resonant frequency, so natural frequency of the device or printhead is different. So the drop head has higher resonant frequency.
Okay.
I don't honestly know how we got that 30 kilohertz spec across the printhead models. But reality is it's different.
Okay.
The head performance is different.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Again, it's a friend from Boston. Nicely handled. You achieved the goal to displace the myth of recirculating head being better. Yeah. Okay. That was spreaded by a certain company. I already told that, but yeah, good.
Yeah, but I think the key thing though is that there's no perfect head, right? You have different applications. You have one head which is ideal for one application, and if you try to use that same head for a different application, it may not work. Right. So that's why we have a whole range of different print heads with small drop, large drop, different viscosity, different DPI, flow through, non-flow through. So what we're trying to do is match the innovation to the new application requirements.
Okay. Again, I know the textile world maybe slightly better than any other people because I was directly involved in that area. So it may happen in Europe. It may happen certain area of Asia. I have no idea about the US. US is, from my point of view, when I have been handling Messenger, it's no market. I have never thought that messenger will be sold in the US. In Europe, yes, Italy, a part of Spain, a part of France, or even the Turkey, if I call it the Europe. But anyway, in that area, it's very popular. But in the US, do you think the textile industry is existing?
It is, and I think it's there's a huge you know, in the US there's a huge market for t-shirts, you know, printed, and they're typically screen printed t-shirts.
Okay, that is
so when you look at that market, and I think that has already adopted, and you know, we have our company Anajet, which is now has been a RICOH company for some time. They're heavily involved in that market of digitally printing t-shirts. But you know, not to get into economics and COVID-19, but I think that I think there's a move to have more onshore manufacturing in the US. And I think we're going to see more of that. And I think when people see large businesses see, and many of the major online retailers are located in North America, without mentioning any names. I think everybody is aware of the company names. I think when they see the benefit in terms of cost saving, the ability to switch and create online designs and whatever, I think that it's going to be a push more to a digital type micro factory, which is not very resource intensive, right? So you don't have to set up a huge textile operation, which is historically what you would need to set up. I think with digital technology, you can set up a textile business, production business with a much smaller footprint. So I think it opens up that opportunity to create bring textile production back into the Americas, to North America.
Oh, even to the North America. Oh, okay, very good. Oh, by the way, my T-shirt was printed with RICOH.
Nice, I like it.
Yeah, that was printed with RICOH RI1000. That's nice printer. Yeah. Okay. So it's no more questions. Oh, just a moment. Just maybe another one. What drives your innovation? What drives your innovation? Maybe spirit or what?
What drives go ahead,
I think
Joe.
it's basically feedback from our customers. We develop the products in response to inputs that we received earlier. We take a product to market, we go out and we talk to people and get feedback on how it performs or where it needs to be extended. And that's what we use the feedback into our R&D group to come up with the next version of the product.
Yeah, I think every company should be the same. Okay, customer existing and their demand that drives innovation. And maybe the difference is how, and this depends on the company's cultures and efficiency or whatever, and also spirit. Okay, gentlemen, and also the audience, thank you very much for your time today. I'm quite impressed, and also I'm sure that RICOH, you can do a good job in this COVID, this very specific moment, and even after COVID is gone. So I think RICOH will be one of the key players in this inkjet and digital printing industry. So thank you very much again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, thank you very much for the audience for joining. In Japan, it's very early in the morning. Now, within 1 hour, Major League Baseball will start. So stay tuned. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Have a good evening. Thanks for everybody joining. Bye-bye.